AITA for telling Mill she was dead to me after she showed up in labor and delivery without my mother? For the past 3 months, it's been a very well-known plan that when I 30F went into labor, my husband was going to drive me to the hospital and my Mill was going to pick up my mother, my kids and my grandmother all from one house. Both my Mill and my mom were supposed to be in the delivery room. My gran was to watch my 2 kids in the waiting room. Everyone was in agreement with the plan. Now, my husband and I have 2 sons already, and for both births, my mother was present. She helped me through so much of the mental anguish and panic, especially after my last, whom literally almost killed me. I was bleeding out on the table, and my mom was the only one able to keep me calm. I needed her to be with me with this baby too mentally. So we worked this plan out months in advance and everyone was on the same page. However, I go into labor. We make the phone calls to Mill and my mom, telling my mom to be ready and my Mill to go get my mother. An hour and 15 minutes later, Mill shows up at the hospital without my mom, my kids or my grandmother. She said, well, it's late, so we need to just let everyone sleep. It was 9:30 p.m. and then sat her ass down on the chair in the delivery room and jumped on her phone. I told her in a pissed off tone to go get my mom. That was the plan. I needed my mom, it's set, and she just wouldn't. At one point saying that she didn't feel up to driving that much. My mom lives 20 minutes from her house, an hour away. So I told her to get the FAK out of the room and that she was dead to me. The amount of resentment and disgust that I felt toward her in this moment is honestly not something I feel I will overcome anytime soon. She was pissed, saying that my mom got to experience 2 births already and how she didn't do anything wrong and she was just being respectful of people's sleep. And where she wasn't leaving, she was actually escorted out. Now, my mom was able to make it to the hospital literally just as I was giving birth. My kids and my grandmother weren't able to make it, which bothers me a great deal. We promised our kids they would be the first to meet their sister, outside of us and Grammy. I cannot forgive my Mill for this at all. I honestly feel like I hate her with every fiber of my being, but I'm being told I'm taking this too far and that it wasn't that big of a deal. AITA, first comment, NTA. Childbirth is super traumatic and beyond painful. Your mother was the only one to calm you down the last time when you nearly died. Doctors need that. Your Mill was told the plan for this labor months in advance. It was 9:30 p.m. and everyone would be fine being woken up if they were even sleeping to come meet a new member of the family, especially if it meant that much to your first 2 children. This was manipulative, a severe power play, and she even sat down, ignored you in the delivery room to be on her phone. She made it about herself and didn't even focus on being there for you. She just wanted to say she was the first and only one there. She revealed her toxicity when she said your mom got to be there for 2 births already. Like, what's the point? The point is you made plans in advance. You wanted and needed your mother, children, grandmother there. That was the plan. Nothing derailed this plan. Your Mill decided to derail it and act like their sleep was more important to hide her ulterior motives. Whoever is telling you that you're making it a big deal out of nothing, tell them it is a big deal. Because what if a similar traumatic birth happened and you couldn't be calmed down? Your heart rate couldn't be stabilized? Because you were stuck in a room with a person who disregarded you, your wishes, you couldn't trust in such a vulnerable time, and honestly DGAF about your health because they wanted to be on their phone. Congrats on your baby, wish you a speedy recovery, and hope you go NCLC with this atrocious Mill, like the sheer audacity, oof. Second comment, you are NTA. And to expressly disregard your wishes for an actual once-in-a-lifetime event is disgusting, especially as you were too vulnerable to do anything about it. That is so wrong. No wonder you despise her. She forced you to go through most of labor without your mom and denied your children something very special. She stole something from you and your kids you can never get back. I still haven't forgiven my husband for making me wait in pain for his mom to get her lazy butt to our house for me to go to the hospital for my 2nd kid's birth. Ugh. That said, if anyone had offered a heartfelt apology, I would be over it. If she had truly made a mistake and thought she was helping, she would be mortified and extremely apologetic. Then you could eventually let it go. After making her grovel for a while, as she should. Some people are just dippy and can't follow instructions, but they should be regretful and ashamed afterwards. The fact that she's doubling down and being huffy and showing zero contrition means she totally planned this and is just pissed she got caught. She has some balls to dare make this like you're overreacting. I'd be murderous. Adults apologize when they're truly sorry, assless sulk and deflect when they're caught. She's by far in this situation. I would have very low contact with her and keep her away in all but the most public circumstances like the kid's birthday, etc. If it were me, she would lose access to all the grandchildren over this. Third comment, how dare she interfere with your birth plan? And believe me, who is present, aftercare like who gets to visit, and when all of that is part of your birth plan, which absolutely no one has the right to change or alter besides the woman who is actually with child. And who is allowed in the room is such a sacred and significant part of being in labor for her to completely disregard your wishes, especially with the idea that you would be cool with her just knocking your own mom right out of the picture, is absolutely bonkers and nothing less than disgustingly disrespectful. Especially given your prior experience, and you were willing to let them both be present. There's no reason she had to make it a one or the other type of situation, and she thought you'd actually go along with it. I don't know how long ago she gave birth, and what the protocol was approx 20 to 40 years ago, but I'm assuming she's aware that you have the final say, and no one is allowed to be in the room with you without you giving the okay. Did she actually think you'd allow her to stay after that? I'm so happy you kicked her ass out. Everything about this woman screams delusional, disrespectful, and nightmare. Thankfully, your mom made it in time, but I'm sorry she missed most of the experience. I would not be okay associating with your mill anytime soon. You are so not the Your mill is the beyond your wildest dreams, and I hope very strongly that your husband agrees with you. Just because it all turned out okay doesn't mean everything is now okay. She completely F-keyed up the plan you had arranged, well in advance and with her in an important role to help make it happen. She not only didn't go along with it after making you think she was on board, she purposely went out of her way to sabotage it when it was basically too late to try and fix it. Ugh, I'm so sorry you not only had to deal with that, you have to deal with her as a mill, and now you also have to deal with people telling you you're overreacting. Barf on all of them. Fourth comment, NTA, first of all, congratulations on your little one. Plenty of comments here have already said what I want to say, but I know from experience that sometimes you need to hear something from as many people as possible. Your mill does not care about you, your health, your emotional well-being. She does not seem to care much about her son either if she is willing and able to do what she did, pretending to be an integral part of the plan everyone agreed upon and then letting everyone down. Worse than letting down. This was clearly an act of betrayal. She does not care about taking away possibly a last chance for your grandmother to be there for the birth of great-grandchild. She does not care about depriving your mother of the chance to be there for you and her grandchild, to support you in considering your previous life-threatening experience to possibly offer you life-saving support. She clearly does not care about her grandchildren's happiness, well-being, and family bonds with you and her son. Having them there could have meant extra special moments for them and a beautiful start to the bond with their new sibling. Beautiful shared family moments. She took that from them on purpose. She knew it was promised to them, so not only did she deprive her own grandchildren of those moments, and her own son and Dill, she also put your relationships under pressure because her actions prevented you from keeping your promise. And she caused emotional pain for everyone. Again, she caused emotional pain for her son, her Dill, and her own grandchildren. And for what? To sit there on her own, for what? Bragging rights or so? She clearly had no interest in you, her son, or her about-to-be-born grandchild if she was on her phone. She also escalated the problem by refusing your request, racketing up stress and tension, full well knowing that this could put you in life-threatening danger again. She does not care about you, her unborn grandchild, her son, your other children, or anyone else if she is willing to do this. She does not care if you live or die. Please remember that. She does not care if you die. She does not care if your newborn had died. She knew that this would threaten the both of you. She knew the terrible loss that could be caused by escalating the situation after already having deprived you of essential support. She clearly does not care about her son possibly becoming a widower, her grandchildren deprived of their mother. And then to misrepresent the situation to her family and have them harass you in what should be a time of joy, recuperation, and building up strength, rather than being drained by all the unnecessary family drama. Don't ever forget this. Most people with similar tendencies hide it very well except for certain instances. You may not ever get such a clear example again. I would never ever trust her again. She is not a safe person for her own son, for you, or your children. She cares nothing for any of you. She cares only for her own needs.